Hello and welcome to Knit Tea Live. Oh, I've got my coffee in my favorite Katiko mug. I love this mug so much. I talk about it all the time. And I'm gonna need my coffee this morning. It has been a busy week. I looked back over the past few days and I was like, man, a lot has happened in the last week. So much has happened. We're going to talk about some of it, all knitting related. It's all going to be, well, fiber crafting related. All good times. It's all fun here today at Knit Tea Live. What was I going to say? If you are joining me live, welcome. Please make sure that you say hi in the chat. And if you are watching on the replay, thank you so much for spending some time with me as well. Feel free to comment on anything down in the chat box. And don't forget to like this video. Liking videos, commenting videos, sharing videos, yada, 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 yada. Helps YouTube know that this is a space worth checking out. And want to help share the joy and the love of knitting and crafting in general, crochet, Tunisian crochet, CB jewelry that is on the horizon for me talking more about that. There's a plan. There's a big plan. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh, speaking of sharing the love and joy of crafting, quick disclosure. It's not a disclaimer. Quick disclosure. Down in the description box are a list of affiliate links. If you click on one of those links, you make a purchase, I might earn a small commission, which helps fund what I do here. So I just like to disclose that right up front. And as I always say, I started always saying the past few days, I will never recommend a product or a service that I cannot stand behind 100%. And I would absolutely recommend it to my very best friend, who is my sister. So anyway, got the business out of the way. Oh, excuse me. I want to warn you right now, I'm a little gunky this morning because a rain has finally come to the Los Angeles area. We had a big rainstorm yesterday. Today the skies are clear, which is good. That means you're not going to be hearing rain outside my window, which is right over there. But we are going to be getting more rain. And it does mean that I'm sorry if this is too much information, but my postnasal drip increases. It's like so much fun. So much fun. Well, it's all good. We need the rain. So this week, like I said, so much going on. Big topic that we're going to discuss today is the big news about, as they call themselves, America's local yarn store. Webbs, who was very smart and got yarn.com very early on in the internet age, has big news. We're going to discuss that big news and how we feel about it and what this may or may not mean for the future of independent crafting retailers, because I got mixed feelings. I gotta say. I've got some mixed feelings about it, and I'm not sure why, but I do. So we're going to discuss that. That's the big topic. I'm also going to share with you some happiness, some nice things that happened to me this past week, which was nice because I've had some disappointments. And what else? There was some other topic. It'll come to me. And of course, if we have time, we'll do a little pattern spotlight. I'll show you the new patterns that are up on Fiber Happenings. Fiber Happenings updates every Friday. Fiber Happenings is on my website, knitswhereitsat.com. Fiber Happenings is part and parcel with my Fiber Indie List project, which is a list of designers and spinners and dyers, mostly designers, who sell their work on off Ravelry platforms. So, because, yeah, we all know what happened with Ravelry. And that has not changed. Not changed. Nothing has changed. It's still the website that I say that I don't name and I name all the time because I can't stop talking about it. So, anyway, let's get started. My question to you is, do you know what Webs is? Please let me know. Do you know what Webs is? Have you shopped on Webs? Do you love Webs? Do you not care about Webs? And have you heard about what's going on? I'm going to tell you what's been going on with Webs. So Webs is a yarn store in Western Massachusetts. And it has been around for a very long time. Webs opened before the age of the internet. When the internet landed, Webs was very smart, and they got the domain yarn.com, and they are an online and brick and mortar retailer for fiber supplies, knitting, spinning, weaving. They carry weaving supplies, yada, yada, yada. And I've ordered from Webs in the past. I've always had a very good experience with Webs, ordering from them online. They have a large selection. They always have good sort of deals happening. They're kind of famous for their closeouts, how they sell closeout yarn. And they have one particular section always called Grandpa's Garage, which is like just chock full of yarn deals. The great thing about buying closeout yarn is that you are getting a really good deal. The not so great thing is you are going to be limited. If you run out of that yarn, you're out of it. It's gone. But anyway, so it's Webs. And yeah, they've been a very successful independent retailer. They call themselves the local yarn store, and it definitely has always had that feel, that much like Jimmy Bean's Wool, where it feels like a local yarn store, but it just has a big online presence. Well, things have changed. This week, Webs announced that they have I should also mention, that's interesting. It didn't come up. Okay. Hello, Whitney. Good morning. So glad you're here. Thank you for saying hi. So Webs, big news is, what was I going to say? Oh, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Webs' big announcement this week is they have sold their store, their business, to lovecrafts.com. When this guy came across Twitter, it was just like, what? There was no inkling. Well, that's not exactly true. I'll get to that in a second. There was no inkling, though, that Webs was looking to sell. In fact, if anything, I felt like indications were that Webs was wanting to expand and get bigger, because not last year, I believe 2 years ago, year and a half ago, 2 years ago, Webs bought a yarn company. What's it called? I totally blanked on the name. I'm sorry, I didn't look it up before. But they bought a yarn company, and because they wanted to start, selling their own branded yarn. And so if anything, it looked like they were looking to expand their business. So I was shocked that they went ahead and sold it to Lovecrafts. Now, if you don't know what Lovecrafts is, hi, Kara, you made it. Yay, you made it. Sorry, it's really interesting because the chat is showing up on my live stream before it's showing up in my sidebar. So it's like, oh, but yay, I'm so glad you're here, Evie. Thank you for joining me this morning. So yeah, Lovecrafts, if you don't know, and I should, disclosure, Lovecrafts is a company that I am a part of their affiliate program, and they started off as Love Knitting, and then they added Love Crochet, and then they changed the business to Love Crafts. Love Crafts is a UK-based company, and yeah, they sell crafting supplies. They sell yarn, they sell needles, they have a huge line there, and they also are a platform for independent designers to sell their patterns. which is why actually I joined their affiliate program, is because so many of the designers on the Fiber Indie list sell their patterns on Lovecrafts. And so I was like, well, I might as well join their affiliate program. And yeah, the Lovecrafts always, by the way, has sale, always has some kind of sale going on. And they're always having flash sales going on. I can't even keep up with it. But I'm so intrigued. I so want the inside story behind this business move by Webb's Yarn Store. But the thing that's interesting is after the live stream is over, I will put a link to this in the description box. According to the FAQ from Webb's, they're like, nothing's really gonna change. It's all pretty much the same. This is what they had to say. I mean, I'm gonna just, let's see. You know what? I'll bring it up on screen. I just have to take this off. There we go. This is what Lovecrafts had to say. Kathy and I wanted to share some exciting news with you and our wonderful customers. Well, thank you. I am wonderful, and so are all of you joining me today. Since we began nearly 47 years ago, like I said, this business has been around forever. It's been Webb's mission to be America's destination for knitters, crocheters, weavers, and spinners. Thanks to you, we've been able to make a reality. Kathy and I really couldn't have done this the last 2 decades without you. Us. Collective us. It's with great pleasure to let you know that our journey continues with a new partner, Lovecrafts, who have acquired Webb's America's Yarn Store. Our company's values align perfectly. Lovecrafts has built a community of smart, kind, and passionate makers who champion craft and the joy of making. Together, we believe we become the destination for yarn enthusiasts in America. It's a privilege to work with a community as loving, creative, and kind as you, and we're excited to continue the next chapter of our story. What does this mean to you? Nothing changes for you. We will continue to run Webb's as it is. With the same incredible team here, you'll get the same service, excellent prices, and speedy shipment. And their shipments are really speedy. They've always had great shipment. I can personally attest to this. You know and love. Kathy and I will run Webb's as usual and assume the roles of Chief Global Yarn Officers. I'm sorry. That's a great title, but I kind of want to be like, did they get a uniform? I kind of want them to have a uniform with medals, you know? Anyway, across Webb's and over time, any changes we make will be to bring you an even better shopping and community experience. Webb's is here to stay. So that's their statement on it. And I just find it so interesting that they're saying that nothing is changing. Lovecrafts has acquired them. They're taking on these new, larger roles. But other than that, you, us, the Webb's customers will notice no difference. I definitely think that's true for the foreseeable future. That's often the case when these sorts of business arrangements come about. Generally, a lot of times things don't change right away. But I would be lying if I said I wasn't nervous for what could come in the future. Because what I find interesting about this and what I'm kind of speculating, what does Evie have to say? But that's what every company in this situation says to reassure their customer base. Exactly, Evie, exactly. It will change. It has to because ownership changed. Exactly. I totally agree with you, Evie. That's what I'm saying. I think in the near future, yeah, nothing's really going to change, but things will change. It might be gradually at first, or it could be all at once. I think a great case study of that is Craftsy, actually. Like, I'm going to do a whole video on Craftsy. I got that planned in my head. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, of course things will change. I think it's how are they going to change? I think what's interesting to me about this is why? Why are they doing this? I could see that the people at Webb's choosing to sell their store, I see it doing it for 2 reasons. One, they do really want to expand their business, but they have kind of tapped out at what they would be able to do on their own in terms of expanding the business. And therefore, they need more investment. And there's only so many ways that you get more money to invest in your company. There's only so many ways to do it. And in this day and age, and I've seen this actually a lot in the entertainment business, and that's where I'm kind of drawing some inferences from, is experiences I've seen there. But selling to a bigger fish is a way to get more money in so that you can expand your business in ways that you want to expand. The other way, of course, is investment capital, but that's a whole other ballywick. And yeah, I have very mixed feelings about this. And it's nothing against Lovecrafts. I've never had anything but a good experience with Lovecrafts. I say that. I've not ordered anything from Lovecrafts because everything that they would offer, I would go ahead and get at Webs, if that makes sense. And this is the interesting thing, I feel like, from Lovecraft's side of it, I can see Lovecraft's making this move because they are wanting to expand their presence in North America, in the United States. Webs is a trusted brand amongst knitters. I could see how maybe they have been struggling with customers in the United States willing to order from them because Lovecraft's just isn't as well known here in the United States. So Webs would be a way to start building their brand within the United States. So yeah, I'm with Evie. I mean, eventually things are going to change. We just don't know how. But I will say, I do not foresee Webs forever and ever maintaining almost like a subdivision of Lovecraft's. I don't see that. But it could be a win-win for everybody. We just don't know yet. But I am a little sad because it's like, oh, Webs was always sort of my independent little yarn store. And I mean, I think they'll keep the brick and mortar store, which is like legendary in New England amongst knitters. It's legendary. The brick and mortar store, which is in Western Massachusetts, at least in New England, is legendary. Yeah. Johnny Sins is the channel for knitting and crafts. My channel is for knitting and crafts, yes. Sarah, hi all. Hi, Sarah. So yeah, we'll see how it all shakes out. What are people's thoughts? Are you saddened by it? Are you like, no big deal? This is what happens in life. Local yarn stores are dying anyway. Why would something like Webs be any different? And that brings me to the next thing, which is the health of the independent craft retailer and local yarn stores. Gotta say, I mean, this is nothing new. We've been talking about this on the internets for a while in the knitting and crafting circles, that the local yarn store is, it's always been a tough business. The margins for local yarn stores have always been really tiny, which is why they're such tiny spaces usually, because like, they can't afford to rent bigger spaces. Ever notice that? Local yarn stores, it's like, I can't move. Unfortunately, it's gone now, but there was a local yarn store in Burbank called Unwind. It was huge. I mean, by local yarn store standards, it was huge. Like, there was space, you could actually move around. And the owners were so sweet. And in fact, they used the interior of it for a few episodes of 6 Feet Under. If you ever watched that show and you remember the scenes of the mother in 6 Feet Under going and being part of a knitting group, that was shot at Unwind. That was my favorite local yarn store, but it's gone now. So yeah, it just, to me, I think that's why I'm like kind of saddened a little bit by Webs being acquired by Lovecrafts, is because to me, this is just one more sign that the local yarn store business is like, I feel like it's like building a wine vineyard anymore, which is, you know, the old joke about wine vineyards. I'll tell you, how do you make $1 million with a wine vineyard? You start with 5 million. That's the joke. I feel like that's kind of true with local yarn stores. And with the pandemic, it's only going to be like worse. So Anyway, let me know your thoughts. What do you think? I would love to hear about it, either right now or down in the chat box if you are joining us later. So, okay. Moving right along. Wow. Sorry, blanked again. That's what happens whenever I'm like switching topics with the live stream. It's so unprofessional. One day I'm going to be really slick with my live streams, right? One day I'll be slick about it. But right now I'm not slick. I'm not slick at all. But so I have big news of my own. And this will segue into some of the good things that happened for me this week. Evie. I feel like LYSs have individual personalities. They are curated. When situations like this happen, the personality gets bulldozed over with uniform branding, etc. Exactly, Evie. That's exactly it. And I think that's one of the reasons, like, you put your finger on my pulse with that, which is like, I just sit there and I wonder if Webb's is just going to lose some of its charm and its character. And that's what happens in these situations. It won't happen right away. You know, it'll be gradual. There'll be a little shift there, a little change here, and then one day, my prediction is that eventually, at least the Webb's website, will eventually get folded into Lovecraft's. That's kind of my prediction on that, because it just doesn't make sense to have Lovecraft's, who I do think, this is speculation on my part, but I do think they're trying to get a better foothold in the United States market. It does not make sense for them to maintain a separate web presence from Webb's. I don't think it's going to happen right away, but I think that's just inevitable. Yeah. But, I mean, you know, at the same time, Webb's will be able to carry bigger stock, and maybe they'll have better photos of their yarn. Oh, what was that? Yes. If I ever had a complaint about yarn.com and Webb's, it's that their photos of their yarn, their color accuracy is terrible. It's always been. It's not good. There's just how they photograph the yarn to put up on their website. The yarn, the color when you get it invariably is a little brighter than what it was depicted as. I mean, look, you're always taking a chance. You're always taking chances when you order yarn online that the color that you saw on the screen isn't going to match the picture. Because there's so many variables that go into how a picture appears on your computer monitor. And you can't control for everything. But it's noticeable with Webb's, and it's a consistent critique you see in the reviews, that the color of the in the photos is off. You read through review of yarn on Webb's, and invariably there's somebody who's talking about how the color of the yarn that they received was brighter, or, you know, just not what it looked like in the photo. If you're used to that and you're somewhat able to visualize color, you can sort of make an adjustment in your mind for that, but that's always an issue I've had with Webb's in terms of their online store. That being said, you know who's really good in terms of that is Knitpicks. Yes, I'm an affiliate, but I've always thought this. Knitpicks, it's not just that their photos are very color accurate, it's that they give such good description of their colors. So you don't have to rely completely on the photo, and I think this is, and don't get me wrong, this is a terribly time-consuming thing to do. It's much easier for Knitpicks to give these very nice descriptive colors of their yarn because it's their yarn. These are their branded yarn. Whereas a store like Webb's or Jimmy Bean Wool, they have such a wide assortment of yarns coming from different manufacturers. For them to give the type of color description that Knitpicks does isn't reasonable. Like, that's not a reasonable expectation. I recognize that. I guess I wish that then the manufacturers would provide that sort of color description for places like Webb's and Jimmy Bean Wool so that it could be part of the description. Because, yeah, if you're buying yarn online, and let's face it, it's not realistic in this day and age to expect that people aren't going to buy yarn online. Like, there's a lot of people who do not live near an LYS. A lot of people. I live in Los Angeles. I have LYSs around. Surprisingly, Los Angeles is a big knitting town. Like, it is. It always has been. There's a big knitting presence in Los Angeles. So me getting to an LYS is not a struggle. Me getting to an LYS that has a personality that I like, not a struggle. But that is a rarity in the United States. Evie, I completely agree, and the level of description from NetPicks is a level of visual access that is awesomeness. Yes, it is amazing. And it's not just that their color descriptions are so great, it's also that they will tell you what other colors, like, a neutral will play well with. Like that level of access for a fiber artist is phenomenal. I know there's people who can be down on NitPicks for various reasons. I like the company. I don't have an issue with them. Yeah. And it's not just because I'm an affiliate. I was a NitPick customer long before, and I wouldn't be an affiliate with them if I didn't like their stuff and their website. So there it is. No apologies. Okay, so my big news. I'm going to show you an overhead, and it's not going to be anything special. But if you've been watching my channel, you're going to be like, or you might be like, oh, that's different. It could be either of those. You might not be, like, blown away. I might be overselling this a little, just a switch. But there it is. My desk is black now. Yes, I have a new desk, and I'm very actually excited about this for my channel. When I started my channel, I started with, you know, what I had on hand. And what I had on hand to shoot with, this space, was my sewing desk. And I didn't love the fake wood grain of it for a camera. I never loved that. And it was also bulky and heavy and just on wheels, so that was nice. But if you've ever had a sewing desk, you know, like, you know, that it's meant to expand out, and it was just always cumbersome. It was just cumbersome for shooting. I've been wanting to get a different table to shoot at for a while, and it finally happened. But unfortunately, why it happened stunk. It was not pleasant. So I work, or I have been working for the last almost 20 years in television, specifically reality television. I do something called story producing, and as a story producer, basically I work with editors in post, going through all the footage and condensing the story down, molding the story, manufacturing the story sometimes, molding the story into a entertaining, comprehensible, you know, 45 minutes of television. Or if it's a half-hour show, 20 minutes of television. And I've been doing that for a very long time. But pandemic, things have slowed down a lot. And it just hasn't been a lot of work. And a lot of people who do what I do have been in this boat. And the plus side is it has given me a lot of time to work on my channel and to build this audience. And I appreciate everybody so much who's here. Yes, I have a pom-pom in my hand. But yeah, it's been stressful. And a couple weeks ago, I got an email out of the blue from a producer who was like, hey, we need somebody. Could you start on Monday? I got this email on like a Wednesday. And I was like, no, I got it on a Tuesday. Anyway, I got this email very quickly. And I was like, yeah, I could start. I can rearrange my life and make it happen. And this is very common in the business when you work freelance. This is very common where you get an email or a phone call and someone needs someone right away and you're available and you're like, yep. And your whole life changes in the course of 2 or 3 days. I'm very used to this. But next day I had a phone call with the producer and the person who's called the executive producer, who's like the main producer in charge of a show. That phone call went great, and my understanding, what I heard at the end of the phone call was, well, we got to get this done because we need you to start on Monday. That's what I heard. Maybe I misunderstood them. Maybe I misheard it. It was on a phone call. That can happen. Full benefit of the doubt. But I heard, we need you to start on Monday. Now, I've been around the business long enough to know that that statement means 90% likely that the job's going to come through. But until you get a call to actually make your deal, where you set your rate and you're given an actual start date, nothing's permanent. Nothing's final. Hell, nothing's really final until you get there on your first day. And even then, things can change wildly quickly. I'm used to this. So anyway, but I was gonna have to work from home. It was gonna be a remote job, which was perfect. But I needed something to be able to put a computer station on and be able to shoot. And so I got this table. Well, and because of the urgency that I was told that which all this was going to need to happen, I was like, I'm going to take the risk and just get the table now. Thursday, no phone call from the company to make a deal. Friday, no phone call. So Friday afternoon, I emailed going, hey, it was so great speaking with you. Just wanted to check in. Got an email back. Oh, sorry for the delay. We're not going to make a decision till Monday. As soon as I got that email, I was like, okay. So now this is a 50-50 proposition. Should I cancel the table? And my husband was like, no, don't cancel the table. You need it anyway. Just go ahead and get the table. I was like, okay. Well, Monday came along. I didn't get an email. No email. No word. Tuesday, no word. Wednesday, no word. Late Wednesday afternoon, I sent another email going, so any decisions been made? Didn't hear anything Thursday or Friday. And at this point, it was like, okay, I've been ghosted. And here's the thing. The job falling through is not the issue. Because that happens, things change. This is not unusual in the business. This happens. What was smarting, what was bothersome, was that I was not being communicated with. That nobody was telling me what was going on. And I didn't know if anybody was ever going to get back to me. So that stung. That stung. And I sent out a tweet about it. And, sometimes when something really disappointing happens, people who you don't even know, just come through for you and show you kindness and grace. And I'm getting a little almost teary-eyed because this happened to me. I'm not even sure if we mutually follow on Twitter. I'm not even sure. But someone on Twitter, her name's Michelle of Tranquil Cottage Knits. She's in the Shenandoah Valley. She commented on my tweet going, well, is that really a company you want to work with? And that's just terrible. But she DM'd me. And just out of kindness, out of her heart, she offered me a free pattern. She gave me a coupon code and offered me a free pattern for a shawl and a hat. And it was just so kind and thoughtful. And it just blew me away. And I think sometimes we forget, especially in this day and age, in the last few years, that there are really kind, graceful people in the world. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to Michelle of Tranquil Cottage Knits and her kindness and say thank you. And also let you know she has a blog. And I have a link to her blog down in the description box. And she does a YouTube channel. It's a knitting podcast. So, it's a small channel. It seems like she has about 40 videos, but still small. So please check her out and give her a listen. I've started listening to one of her podcasts / YouTube videos, and she exudes warmth and kindness. And I just want to, she paid something forward to me, and I want to pay her back and pay her forward and just share that. That's my big gratitude for this week. And yeah, just an amazing thing to do. And it wasn't even about the free pattern. It was just that someone, saw somebody else in a little bit of and like did something to brighten their day. And I think that's something we forget, that you never know, right? You never know what kindness that you can share with someone. It doesn't have, where it's even just a smile, or a hello, or that's beautiful. You never know whose day you're going to brighten by showing kindness. So anyway, thank you so much. I'm just so kind. Just so kind. I'm just blown away. Sarah, I have order from Lovecraft Supplies. Oh, great. Let me know, Sarah, how that experience was. How was your experience with Lovecrafts and ordering from them? I would love to hear about it. Yeah. Something else that happened this week. Oh, Evie, I love the happy ending of your story. The energy here is so important right now. Yeah, it was. And it was a happy ending. And I think it's definitely one of those things. I generally, when bad news happens, like even with when I did, by the way, I did finally hear back from the company like the following Monday. And it's exactly what I expected, which was they decided to go with somebody else for the job, which is fine. Every production company has to make the best decision they can in terms of staffing. And if they found someone they thought was a better fit for the show, great. I wish them nothing but the best of luck. Just communicate with people sooner. Don't leave people hanging for a week. That's all. Like, especially when they've emailed you. But yeah, and I do firmly believe that at the end of the day, I ended up where I'm supposed to be. And I'm not regretting my desk, and it wasn't terribly expensive. It's not like I spent a fortune on this. And it's very nice. I'm very happy with it. I think it's going to make shooting I think it's visually going to be much more pleasant looking at this desktop than at my sewing desk. And I think even, let's look at it again, shall we? Yeah. I think even this on the live stream, I'm hoping looks better, that it doesn't look like there's so many shadows on it. Like my other desk, there was always issues I was having with shadows. And this being black, I think like my shadow isn't going to be such an issue during live streams. And I'm much happier with this. And look at all the pom-poms. Sorry. I have all these pom-poms. There is a reason. It has to do with an upcoming video. I made a bunch of pom-poms, but they're so fun. Pom-poms are so happy. Aren't they like pom-poms are just like the happiest things. I don't know why. They're just so fun and happy. So yes. Something else that happened this week was I got one last prize from my Fasten Off. If you've been following me at the end of the year, I was taking part in Fasten Off 2020 Yarn Along, which was a off Ravelry Yarn Along holiday thing that was being run by Kathleen Sperling and Rachie Newen, which was an incredible event. Hopefully they do it again for 2021. They did such a great job with it. And at the end, I had won a couple of free patterns from playing some of the games. They had a bingo card game and a quiz game, and they were fun. And I had won some free patterns. And at the end, I had finished one project, and I ended up with another prize. I got some free yarn. So I thought I would show you the yarn today. I didn't keep the package totally closed. I did do a sneak peek, but it came in this package. So there's squishy mail came in, and I figure I'll do the full opening here on camera. Because who doesn't like to see pretty yarn? Like, that's always going to brighten someone's day. So let's open this up. Ooh. Oh my god, these are so my colors. Perfect. Oh my god. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but they're so pretty. I love them. Oh my god. I kind of peeked in the package, but let's see. I want to see if I can get This is darker. This is gorgeous. This yarn. Let's see. This is Mescla. Oh, geez. M to the third. Oh, M to the third yarn company. I got it. I was having a hard time. Naturally dyed. This is naturally dyed wool. Oh my god. Let's see. It's 40% merino, 40% Peruvian Highland wool. Ooh. 20% nylon. Hand dyed with natural dyes. May bleed for first couple of washes. Hand wash only. Oh my god, this is gorgeous. So I don't know what to. So basically, this yarn has a black yarn that is twisted with what looks like a variegated yarn, and it has these pinks, these very light pinks that go into these dark blues, into grays. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this, but it's going to be gorgeous when it's done. I love this. I love this. The other two yarns. Okay, so this yarn is from Circus Tonic Handmade. I love the name. This is a variegated yarn, but it's tonal, so it's all pinks, and I see purples. Oh, it's so pretty. This is the Revelry Sock Fingering 4-ply. It's 80% Australian superwash merino, 20% nylon. So this speaks to me being a merino nylon blend. If you've followed me for any amount of time, you know that a blend like this is something that I may not make socks with, but I would definitely use this in a shawl. I feel like this sings shawl to me. Some kind of shawl or stole. Oh gosh, so pretty. The colors are so gorgeous. Isn't that gorgeous? If I hadn't already started the Step Up shawl, I could totally use this. Maybe I could use this in the other Tunisian crochet project that I got from Aklori Designs, which is another shawl. Because Aklori Designs, she does Tunisian crochet, and almost a lot of her patterns are done with fingering weight yarn. And in this one, oh my god, I love this. This is from Haynes House Yarns. Pollen Maker. That is the perfect name for this colorway. Oh my god. Right, Whitney? Those colors. Bare Feet Socks. 75% merino, 25% nylon. I'm in love. Oh my gosh. This is greens with yellows. Now, yellow isn't always my favorite color, but this yellow mixed in with these greens, which kind of go from kind of lime green into these darker, more foresty greens. Not super dark, but darker greens. To have these hints of yellow is perfect. But the exciting thing is there's also these little splashes of pink that's in them. And oh, this is so my heart and soul. This is gorgeous. Oh, how does it smell? It smells like baby powder. I mean, come on. Confession. Doesn't every fiber person smell your yarn? Like, so interesting. It kind of almost smells like baby powder, but not overwhelming. Just that very slight vanilla smell. How does this one smell? Oh, this has that heavy lanolin sheep wool smell that I love. Oh, it smells so good. And this one? This smells clean. That's how I would describe it. It smells clean. So these are my yarns that I won. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited that they came in. And so thank you. Oh shoot. I gotta find the email. I need to shout out who gave me this prize, and I didn't bring in the actual package with me. And I'm just really terrible at remembering names. I will shout out whom I received this from and make sure that I leave a link down in the description box. But I gotta bring up the email. Gorgeous. They're so gorgeous. Even smell the raw fleece. Yummy. Oh. I mean, if you watched my video on the drop spinning. I really was. I think I spent about, when I opened up the top comb, right? Top comb. But when I opened up that roving, I'm just calling it roving. I know it's not technically accurate. And I mean, I think I did spend about 5 minutes just with my face in the fleece. It was just like, ugh. It's like, I don't know what it is. I'm not kidding. There are times when I've been smelling yarn or wool, and I feel like I'm getting high, which it's silly, but that's, I have a very strong reaction to it. I think it's because, you know, I just love, here it is. Oh good, I found it quickly. Jessica Irving. So the prize was, no, not that one. Fairlight Fibers. Fairlightfibers.com was who sent me this yarn as a Fasten Off Yarn Along 2020 prize. So thank you very much. Thank you. I am so looking forward to that. And I will make sure that I put a link down to fairlightfibers.com down in the description box after the Knit Tea Live is over. So yes, but yes, that yarn is gorgeous. So yes, it's been a lot going on this week. There's been a lot of stuff going on. Of course, this is Knit Tea Live, which means we got to talk about the big things going on in the fiber world. And chill, Evie, it's a dose of serotonin. Happy brain, exactly. It's like the smell of it just sends you back into that happy space of just relaxing and knitting and everything. And you know, we talk about it all the time, right? Like in knitting and crafting, where it's like knitting, crochet has this, I tell people this all the time, these activities have the same meditative effect as yoga. And it's true, studies bear this out, like real studies bear this out. But it also is really true. Like, I know that there's days when I'm not, my brain is a little like, and I start knitting and focusing on that, or doing crochet, or whatever it is, whatever craft it is, seed beating, whatever it is. And everything in my brain just goes, just calms down, focus comes in, you know, and it's just so, so relaxing and nice. And there's been times in my life where I've said like, no, knitting has saved my life at times. And I know that may seem like hyperbolic, but it's actually somewhat true. It has saved my sanity at times, where I'm just like, I need to just go in a corner, pick up some fiber, or pick up some beads. I just need to make something. Just let me make something, and everything else will follow, and everything else will be fine. But I need to make something right now. And yeah, the smell of wool just reminds me of what that feeling is like. So this week, lots of things happened in the world this week. And I think we've all of us, have become painfully almost aware at times of the viral mittens. You know what I'm talking about. Bernie Sanders and the mittens that have like become famous around the world. Oh my gosh. It's so fun when something like this, I think this is so fun when something like this happens in the world, where somebody wears some piece of knitwear or crochet wear or whatever and we all crafters are like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing and I can't wait to make it. What do you all think of the gloves? What do you all think of the famous gloves that just took over the news? I mean, I think it's great. I think it's great whenever we get so excited about something. These are definitely viral. I will be honest, for me personally, these mittens are not my favorite. mostly because of the colors. I would do different colors. That's just me. Not my particular colors. But you know what? I did see on, somebody has put up a free color chart on Ravelry, but I'm sure you can find it elsewhere, of this Fair Isle pattern. If you wanted to make your own, because now knitters, of course, are making their own version of this. I've seen people who have done little crochet Bernie Sanders with, you know, sitting like this, doing the gloves. And personally, mittens don't have a lot of room in my life. I live in Los Angeles. I'm wearing a hoodie today because I'm a little chilly. Like yesterday it was cold. It got down to like 55 degrees. That's cold in LA, especially when it's raining. So mittens don't have a big place in my life, but I did see somebody do socks with this pattern, and then that made me go, ooh, I would choose different colors, but I could see myself knitting socks with that pattern. So I just think that was like a little bit of fun for the knitting world. There have, of course, been other famous knitwear that went viral in the knitting world, at least, and like the sweater from Knives Out. You know the one I'm talking about. You know the sweater I'm talking about. What's so funny to me about that sweater is later on I was watching I saw a picture of it, and I noticed that there was actually a hole in the sweater. I like them. Someone just did a pattern for a sweater. Yes, Whitney. I like them. Someone just, yeah. I like the Fair Isle pattern itself. It's fine. Or it's gorgeous. And I think I saw it's a yoke sweater. Isn't it? That they did. I would choose a different colorways for myself. That's all. Like, I would replace one of the browns with like an olive green or navy blue, you know. But that's me. That's my taste. You know, I'm the person who does Fair Isle socks with like a dark blue, a coral, and then like lime green, acid green. So that's me. But I think I definitely think it was a fun bit. It was kind of funny just seeing people talk about the mittens. I think too, with knitters, I think we are very used to people thinking that we are some, you know, arcane craft that no one does anymore. And so whenever we get a little bit of attention from, you know, other people, we're like, no, we've been here. We're not arcane. We're hip. We're cool. We're like, somebody last week tweeted something about, we've all had the bread making reemergence and some other thing. When is going to be the knitting resurgence? And we're like, knitting resurgence? We never left. We've always been here. We haven't stopped. But it's funny because there's so many people who knit and crochet and do these crafts, and yet so often it's treated like this very niche thing. It's so funny to me. Anyway, so let's see, we got a few minutes left, and so I think we are going to do a just quick Fiber Happenings pattern spotlight. Not a ton of new patterns this week. There were new patterns that came out this week, not as many as last week. Last week was like huge number of new patterns came out. This week, not quite as many, but high quality. There's always a high quality of new patterns that come out that are on the Fiber Happening list, because like the designers that I follow are like amazing. I do say so myself. But so let's take a quick look here. Desktop share, there we go, pattern spotlight. Amy Snell has another new pattern out this week. She had a new pattern last week, which was the Brelicious Brioche Cowl. That was actually a free pattern. This week, she has these socks. These are hiking socks called Wanderly. This is such a great pattern. This is a really cute sock. Let's go to her Pay a Hip store so that we can get a closer look at it, the pictures. Oh, so cute. So this is a ribbed, sorry, stop, think, use your words. The stitch pattern itself is a cable pattern, but it's ribbing in between. So this type of sock is going to form really nicely to your foot and your heel. And this is a hiking sock. It's worked up in DK weighted yarn. So this is a sock I think that would work up pretty quickly. And it has the cute contrasting toe and heel, and the color work also at the top. But this type of sock with this toe and heel, if you didn't want to do a contrasting color, you could absolutely knit it with the same color as the body of the sock. That's totally a choice that you could make. Now this heel that is done is what's called an afterthought heel. I don't know if you've ever done an afterthought heel, but this is the pattern I've been meaning to write up. Evie, I just wish we had as many memes featuring some strong women energy, but Eugene Goodman's Gucci scarf blew up the weaving community. Yeah, I agree, Evie. I agree. I think there was a very good commentary about how no woman could get away with Bernie Sanders' ensemble. But, I mean, did you see Michelle Obama's outfit was unreal. It was so gorgeous. I was unabashedly tweeting about the fashion at the inauguration because I love pretty things and I love pretty clothes, and fashion can make important statements. But yes, I love these socks. They're really cute. And like I said, this is knitted up in DK weight yarn. So here's a good close-up of that cable pattern. You know what? I'm pretty sure, looking at it closely, that cable pattern, no, it's not a twisted stitch pattern. It's not a twisted stitch cable pattern. But that is a cable pattern that you could very easily do without a cable needle because it's a 2x2 cross. So you're just crossing it's 4 stitches. And so you'd be taking 2 stitches onto a cable needle to do the cross. 2x2 crosses like that are really easy to do without a cable needle, which is nice because sometimes especially if you're going to knit socks on double pointed needles, dealing with cable needles and DPNs at the same time, it's a lot of pokey ends that you're dealing with, okay? There's a lot of pokey ends. Yes, you're right. This color pattern is very much like the classic sock monkey. Esmeralda, that looks like a 1x1 to me. You know what, Esmeralda? I think you're right. I stand corrected. I think you're right. I think that is a 1x1. It's a 2-stitch cable pattern. Even easier to do without a cable needle. Yep. You're right. Thank you. Thank you for noticing. All right. So that's that sock. It's really great. Yeah, Amy Snell, she's been around for a while doing knitting classes, but she's really starting to put out a lot of patterns, which is great. I'm very excited for her. Next, we have Liz Cork. Okay, I'm just going to say right now, I need Liz Cork to stop designing so many beautiful things. I'm not going up to the pattern yet because once we see the pattern, we're going to be just talking about the pattern because it's so overwhelming. But Liz Cork is going to totally drain my pattern budget with all the pretty things. So here it is. This, I can't pronounce it. Nether, I can't pronounce it. It's Gaelic. It means dragon. So we're going to just call it dragon because I want to do it justice. But this is a cow, and OMG. It's so gorgeous. So, I believe this is, she says that it is Fair Isle knitting, stranded colorwork knitting, and one side, you can see it in the picture on the right, the top right photo, you can see has this diamond pattern, and that is supposed to represent the tough hide of the dragon. And then on the other side, which you can see on the bottom left, is this undulating pattern of these little arcs. It's just gorgeous. Oh my gosh. I can't even stand it. How gorgeous this is. So pretty. I want to understand the construction of this cowl better, but it's 2 layers, so I'm not quite clear. She doesn't say that it's double knitting. She says that it is Fair Isle stranded color work, so I'm not exactly sure if you are knitting each side of it and then sewing it together. That I'm not quite clear on, or if you're just working them both up at the same time. But it's gorgeous. I love it. I might have to get it. I love her work. Nothing. I don't think there's anything I've seen that Liz Cork design that I haven't been enthralled by. Nothing. Like, no. I think everything of hers, I'm like, oh my god, I love it. Like, everything. And this is so pretty. Let's see. Let's read the description. I gotta scroll up, sorry. Outside features a diamond-shaped scale for the dragon's tough hide, and the inside a series of soft curves representing the soft belly of the beast. With 4 layers of yarn sandwiched together and a seamless design, this cowl will work up warm whatever the weather. The cowl is worked in stranded Fair Isle knitting. The colorwork pattern is both charted and written. That's amazing. That is really amazing for colorwork. With written instructions for the other rounds, as well as color charts. There's a page with blank charts that you can print out and color in with your choice of colors. Yeah. And the pattern also includes a photo tutorial for Kitchener stitch in pearl. So gorgeous. So in love. Well done. Well done, Liz Cork. Alrighty. I'm done swooning. And we will go down to the last new design. Oh, no. That's okay. We'll go to our pay hip store. Sorry. I have an error on that in bed. It's okay. I gotta get fixed. But this is from Louise Tilbrook, and this is called her January cowl. And this is so like cushy and cozy looking. I have to say, I feel like everything that Louise Tilbrook makes, designs, just looks like comfort to me. But this is the pattern. This is a close-up of the textured stitch pattern, and one of the things I really like about it is it has almost this diagonal grid-like movement to the stitches. So, so cozy and lovely. Here, you can see what I mean. Like, yeah, there's this, like, diamond shape to the stitch pattern. So pretty. So it's just not, the stitch pattern is both textured and cozy, but it also has this like lovely movement at the same time because it's a kind of a puffy stitch pattern. So pretty. So pretty, so cozy looking. I love it. Just everything she does. Those are the only 2 photos. I kept thinking there was a 3rd photo. And we'll just read the quick description. The January cowl, a cozy knit for darker days. This pattern for a cozy texture cowl with a couple of different options. It uses a 4-ply fingering weight sock yarn, either held singly or held double. So you could absolutely work this pattern up holding fingering weight yarn held double, but a lot of times fingering weight yarn held double equals about a sport or a DK weighted yarn. So I imagine that you could also use a sport or DK weight yarn for this pattern as well. So lovely, lovely, lovely. Esmeralda Jones. Is that a Raspberry Trinity stitch? It might be. I can't quite tell, but I think that you might be, oh, apparently not. But it does look kind of like that. It is this puffy textured stitch. I haven't quite spent enough time looking at it to suss out exactly what it is. I do know, though, this, if I remember correctly, this cowl is worked flat and then grafted together, or seamed together. Does it say? I believe the cowl is knitted flat and then grafted or seamed at the end. So I think that's one of the reasons it's throwing me a little bit in sussing out what the pattern is that I'm looking at it and it's horizontal, but it's, knitted flat. But it's gorgeous. It's very, very pretty. But yeah, so those are the 3 new patterns from this week that are on Fiber Happenings. And just so you know a little bit about how I arrange Fiber Happenings, one of the things that I do with it is if a designer, say, comes out with a new pattern within a couple of weeks of each other, I only have one of their patterns up. I try to keep a pattern up for at least a week. So a lot of times they stay up for longer than that. But if a designer comes up with a pattern and they have had one that's been on Fiber Happenings, I take that one down and I put the new one up. Just because I do. So I don't know why I'm sharing this with you, but I am. But there's still plenty of the patterns from last week. Most of them are still up on Fiber Happenings. And I'm just checking through real quick to see if there's anything else I wanted to highlight on Fiber Happenings before. No, just real quick. I mentioned it before. I'm going to just mention it quickly again, that last I checked, Knitpicks is still doing their book sale. So they have their books are on sale up to 40% off. So if you're interested in a knitting book of any sort, now's a good time to check out Knitpicks. Yes, hashtag cheeky plug, I am an affiliate. So yes. So Sarah was just letting me know, I had asked earlier how her experience with Love Crafts was with ordering from them, and she said that she had her order in 3 days, which is great shipping time. So yes. So, wow. Okay, wow, 12:08 already. It's because I swooned for so long over the new patterns. Unless anybody has any last minute questions for me or anything, we're going to start wrapping things up. This week, I am still debating in my head. Here's the deal. I have a video shot to edit, but I also need to get in a solid week of shooting videos. So I'm debating if I'm going to do that this week or the following week. I've just made a snap decision. I'm going to do it the following week. So this upcoming Friday, I'm going to have a video on pom-pom makers. I made all these pom-poms. And this week's video is going to be me discussing whether it's better to buy a pom-pom maker or to DIY it, to make it. So, yeah, I tried out a whole bunch of different ways to make pom-poms. Not all of the ways, but a bunch of ways. And I'm going to tell you what my experience was about all of them. I will give you my review of a pom-pom maker and find out, is it worth it? Is it worth it to buy it? Buy it or make it? So that is this upcoming Friday's video. We'll still have Knit Tea Live next Sunday unless something happens with life, because life is always happening. Then the next week, I'm going to take a week off from uploading so that I can just do some power load shooting and get ahead of shooting a little bit. Evie, I'm here for yarn swooning. Remember to thumbs up Carrie's live stream, friends. Thank you, Evie, for reminding everyone to thumbs up the videos. Thank you, because I'm terrible at remembering to say it. I'm getting better. But yes, so thank you so much for joining me live. I'm so excited. I love the participation this week. Thank you, everybody, for making time with me here today. And please, yes, thumbs up my video. And if you're watching on the replay, please join in the conversation. I would love to hear your thoughts on webs being acquired by Love Crafts, Bernie Sanders mittens, the kindness of crafters, because I think overall crafters are a kind group of people. I think overall we are very kind. Yeah. Also, if there's any kind of video that you're interested in, please let me know. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. Hitting the notification bell is what always will notify you that I've uploaded a new video or I'm starting a live stream. Also, check out my social media. I'm very active on Twitter. I'm pretty active on Instagram. If you are interested, I almost forgot. Shoot. Okay, sorry, running long. What else is new? But I gotta mention this. I have been for a very long time talking about doing a make along for a pair of gloves that I don't have on hand. I have them on hand, they're just not within reach. I am going to be starting that make along at the beginning of February. If you're interested in taking part in a make along, I will put up on my Instagram and my Twitter a picture of the glove that I'm talking about, and that make along will be happening on my fiber group on Mighty Networks called Knits Where It's At. I'm very original that way. I just keep using Knits Where It's At everywhere. But it's going to be a free pattern because it's not tech edited or anything. And I guess in a way it's kind of anyway, I finished writing up the pattern. It's going to start in February, but I am going to be posting the tool recommended yarn weights and everything. I'm going to be posting that and getting that make along started. So if you're interested in it, please join my Knits Where It's At Mighty Network group. There should be a link for it down in the description box, but I will double check after the live stream is over and make sure that gets added. And sorry, I'm not good at remembering all the links that I need to put in my description box. But again, follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram. Those links are definitely down in the description box. I will be putting up announcements about this starting probably today or tomorrow. So you can always follow me there to keep up to date on everything. But I wanted to mention that quickly. So did I get all my plugs in? Please like, subscribe, make along next week's video. I think I got everything. So thank you again so much for joining me. Again, down in the description box are affiliate links if you're planning to do any shopping anyway on a site with which I am affiliated, and you use one of my links to go there and you make a purchase, I might earn a small commission, and this helps support my channel so that I can just keep improving it and making it better, which is always my goal. If you're like, Carrie, I can't shop right now, I totally get it. But if you'd like to leave me a tip, you can always leave me a tip and buy me a coffee. Because I do need coffee. I need lots of coffee. And if you want to know buy me a coffee tips, always go back in the channel. If you want to know what I'm using my tips for right now, I have a goal on my buy me a coffee, and you can know what it is that your tip will go towards. So yes. And right now my goal is to get a new web camera so I can improve my live stream. So that's the goal right now. That really is everything. So thank you again so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend and a great week ahead. I don't know all y'all, but I'm definitely breathing easier right now. Okay, I gotta do one thing to set up. Here we go. All right, so again, as always, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here, spending some time with me. Have a great rest of your week. As always, happy health and happy knitting. Bye.